Right now, somewhere, you are the smartest person in the room, and you have never felt more alone. That's not a compliment, it's a diagnosis. Because here's the thing, nobody warned you about growing up. Your mind doesn't work like everyone else's. It never has. While other people process a moment and move on, you're still running the analysis 3 steps deep, turning it over, looking for the crack in the logic nobody else noticed. You didn't choose this, it's just how your brain is wired, and that wiring is about to cost you more than you realize. Let's start with what's actually happening inside your head. Your mind works fast, faster than you've probably ever admitted out loud, because saying it feels arrogant. But brain imaging tells a different story. In people with exceptionally high measured intelligence, regions of the brain that normally activate one at a time, sequentially, like a single lane of traffic, instead fire together all at once, overlapping in dense bursts. You're not thinking one thought after another. You're running a dozen lanes of traffic simultaneously all the time, whether you want to or not. That should feel like a superpower, and sometimes it is. But here's where it turns on you. A brain built for a dozen lanes doesn't have an off switch. You know this feeling. You lie down to sleep, and your mind won't stop generating branches, tangents, half-finished thoughts about a conversation from 6 hours ago, or a problem you weren't even trying to solve. Researchers call this cognitive overexcitability, an intense, almost involuntary responsiveness to your own thinking. A single offhand comment can trigger an avalanche you didn't ask for. You don't get to sample information. You devour it, compulsively, and there's no volume knob. This is where overthinking and solitude start to define your life. Your mind is wired to solve complex problems, which means you spend enormous amounts of time analyzing situations most people would have already forgotten. Over time, that constant analysis does something to you. It creates anxiety. It pulls you toward withdrawal, because your brain is exhausted from processing what everyone else processes effortlessly. And so you start using solitude on purpose, as a tool. Alone time becomes the only place you can actually finish a thought without interruption, recharge, create, think clearly. Solitude, chosen deliberately, is different from loneliness, forced on you, but from the outside they look identical. And after enough time, the line between the two starts to blur even for you. Now here's the part that cuts the deepest. You process the world differently than the people around you, and that difference means you struggle to find peers who share your depth of interest in anything. You can be sitting in a room full of people who like you, who care about you, and still feel like you're the only one who showed up to a conversation everyone else thinks is already over. You want to go 3 layers deeper into a subject and the room has already moved on to something else. Think about what that actually feels like. It's like trying to tune into your favorite radio station, except every station you find is nothing but static. You are broadcasting on a frequency most people around you were never built to receive. You're not being difficult. You're not showing off. You're just transmitting on a different wave, and every single conversation costs you extra energy because you have to translate your own thoughts downward just to be understood at all. That translation is exhausting. And here's something researchers have only recently started measuring properly. A study published in the British Journal of Psychology, analyzing data from over 15,000 young adults, found something that upended a basic assumption most people carry their whole lives. For most people, frequent socializing predicts greater life satisfaction. The more you connect with friends, the happier you tend to be. But for people with higher intelligence, that pattern weakens. Sometimes it disappears entirely. Your happiness doesn't come from the same source as everyone else's. It comes from depth of engagement, not breadth of contact. A single afternoon working through a hard problem alone can mean more to you than a night out with a dozen people, which sounds fine on paper, except it comes with a hidden cost most people never see you paying. Because to survive socially, you learn to hide it. Psychologists call this social camouflaging or masking. You simplify your thoughts. You round the corners off your own curiosity. You laugh at the joke a beat early instead of pointing out why it doesn't quite land. You do this so often, so automatically, that most people around you have no idea it's happening. But you know, every single time you do it, you're not lying. You're just muting yourself, one conversation at a time. Do that enough for long enough, and it creates a specific documented kind of loneliness. Researchers call it existential isolation, the quiet, persistent feeling that your actual internal world is simply inaccessible to the people around you. Not because they don't love you, because the part of you that thinks the way you think has nowhere to go that anyone else can follow. You can be surrounded by people. You can have friends who love you, a family that supports you, a full calendar, and a phone that never stops buzzing, and still feel completely unseen in the one place it matters most, the part of you that wonders, questions, and makes meaning out of the world. Intellectual loneliness doesn't care how many people are in the room. It only cares whether any of them can meet you where your mind actually lives. So why does this happen to you specifically and not to everyone? Because your interests, your values, your way of seeing the world sit outside the statistical center of the bell curve. And when you're outside that center, finding people who match you isn't a matter of luck. It's a numbers game, and it's a game stacked against you. Most social spaces are built around shared cultural touchstones, easy small talk, broadly relatable experiences. You want to dissect the philosophy underneath a film. The room wants to rate it out of 10 and move on to dinner plans. The more specific and complex complex your inner world becomes, the smaller the population of people built to meet it. So what do you actually do with a mind like this? The research is consistent on this point. The answer isn't becoming less yourself so you're easier to sit next to. It's finding even one person, just one, who can meet your mind without you having to translate it first. One real connection, at your actual depth, does more for you than 100 surface level ones ever could. Because here's the truth underneath everything you've just heard. Your mind was never the problem. It was never too much, too intense, too fast for the world to handle. What was missing was simply a world built to run alongside it. And somewhere out there, probably closer than you think, there is at least one other mind broadcasting on your exact frequency, waiting to stop hearing static too.